Okay, it's not too
Let
long.
me change the...
Do you want to read this one or should I?
I'll read it.
Okay. So we'll do an intro first.
Okay.
Hello.
And welcome back to another episode of Dear Sadie P.
Nice. You got it right this time. First time. Okay, so you're going to read this letter.
Okay. Dear Sadie P, I hope you're well. I'm so sorry for the long text. Here's a little update about my situation with the art history teacher. As soon as I saw the answer to my email, I was very anxious to tell you more and more. The story I told earlier seems quite chaotic, and from your answer, I should have no doubts about how she feels about me. But it was all a gradual process. Nothing happened suddenly. First, the friendship between student and teacher emerged, and later the so-called sexual tension. I think my big problem in all this is being insecure. I can't see with such certainty that she's attracted to me as other people do. I always try to justify and find a reason for everything she says to me. Maybe she says it without thinking, without a filter, but without meaning, perhaps. This week, we were together. She sent me a text to ask if I wanted to go out to dinner, which I thought was wonderful. Taking this initiative is already a great indication for me. The day came, we went first to have coffee, and soon after she invited the former student whom she takes care of and helps. I was a little uncomfortable with the situation because I thought she wanted to spend time with me. I think I might have been jealous of him at some point. She called him her little boy, with radiant eyes, like she used to call me. I don't think it was a matter of nervousness where she felt the need to invite someone to not be just with me, because we have been alone several times. This last time I was able to realize that she really is a lonely person, without a boyfriend/girlfriend, without children. The way she texts me talking about the most random things or just about her day. And she also feels the need to always criticize herself in the hope that I will say something that makes her feel good. She says things that make me understand that she feels lonely, that she wants company. So I suggested creating a dating app, which she always finds ridiculous. I'm starting to think that I'm just a person she likes, but not in the way I thought. But to keep her company when she feels like going to the beach, going to a bar. But where do all those sexual compliments come from? I can't figure it out. While we were leaving, she touches my hair and says I have the perfect face. There is no girl more beautiful than me, which she has done before, but nothing happens. I'm still very confused and I am too afraid to confront with this, but I want to know what's going on. What should I do?
Interesting. So I think this letter was a while ago because I don't have like a clear memory of the first letter because this was an update.
Yeah.
But just based off of what you say here, she seems a bit messed up. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, same impression.
And based off of my experience, a lot of times overly affectionate teachers look at you like their child. Because they're very affectionate because they see you like almost in a loving motherly way.
Right.
But it's messed up to like include compliments and things like that could be almost incestual, you know? Because if they're treating you like a kid.
I didn't think about that specifically, but I had the feeling that this person is super needy and maybe she's not the most aligned person. I mean, the only thing that can really help you to find a resolution into this is to ask her, to be open to her once again, you know, to be open to her and tell her your feelings about her, and also you can ask her if she's actually interested in women.
Yeah, and just straight up ask her, like, look, you're sending me some mixed messages.
Exactly.
And I need to know, are you attracted to me? Because I'm very attracted to you.
Exactly. exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for your mental health.
Exactly.
Gotta come out.
Exactly. So that's my advice.
Yeah. Mine too.
And yours too. Yeah.
Let's read another one, 'cause
Okay.
that was a bit short. Dear Sadie and P, first I would like to say that I apologize for any errors in my email. I'm Swedish, so English is not my first language. I would also like to say thank you for the two of you for having this part of your channel. It's a great relief to know that there's someone to talk to and to hear the opinions in such a personal issue.
Oh, wow.
Here's my story. I'm 18 and in high school. I was studying English and had a teacher I will call Miss H. She joined the school. I immediately liked her because she was different from the other teachers. She was English and she didn't care what anybody thought of her. She wore tight-fitting suits and she had long dark hair that she wore down even though she said she had been told to wear it up because it made her look more stern. We got on really well from the moment we met. I'm also an out lesbian, which she could tell because of my rainbow pride stickers on my school bag. I would go to her classroom at lunch times just for a chat about books, as we both love to read. And I never before met somebody who liked the same classic literature as I do. She told me a lot about herself and we shared things in those moments. She told me she has a daughter whom she had as a single parent through IVF. Her daughter was 6. She told me her age, which is 30, and that all about the things she enjoyed doing, like reading, writing, going to theater, things like that. And she told me stories about where she grew up in England. We just got on together so well. We immediately understood each other on an emotional and intellectual level. She was kind, considerate. She was very gently spoken, but she was very opinionated, and she thought some of the rules at the school were too strict, and she spoke up about these things. She then told me that she and a colleague didn't see eye to eye. This colleague is a very old man called Mr. Fear. Yes, really. He's a very traditional, and she's been forthright about her sexuality and being a lesbian from the very beginning. She has done projects on Pride, started an LGBT safe space in the school. We would also talk to each other at the end of the day, as well as lunch and breaks. I would feel that I was slowly beginning to feel more than friendship with her. She was very tactile, often touched my hand or my arm when we were speaking, and we would reach out to squeeze my arm if we passed in the corridor. Wow. I felt like she felt it too. Sometimes there would be a pause in our conversations and we would just look at each other. We told each other our coming out stories. We talked about silly celebrity crushes. She had a stutter sometimes when she was nervous, which the other kids in the class would laugh at her for, which made it worse. One day I stood up for her and shouted to them to stop, which then escalated the rumors that were already starting about us spending too much time together. I thought she would be grateful that I had helped her in that situation, but she was so angry, though not at me, but at herself. She said she was failing as a teacher because she couldn't keep control of her students. I told her that she was the best teacher I'd ever had, and she held my hand and said, "I'm behaving inappropriately just by being here with you." I asked her what she meant, and she said we were spending too much time together, and that there were rumors going around that we were having a relationship. I said I wish we were, without thinking, and she took her hand away and smiled like she was sad and said I was too young to know what I wished for. And then, as an afterthought, she said I'm also her student and she has the duty of taking care of me. After that day, for a few days, we spent less time together. But soon we found ourselves back into our old routine where I would go to her classroom and we would swap book suggestions. Then one day out of the blue, I was called to the headmistress' office. She said that someone had reported that I'd been having sex with Miss H on her desk, which was untrue. Which I told her, but she said that she had to take it seriously and investigate. After the weekend, I went back to school and Miss H asked me to stay behind after our lesson, even though she wasn't supposed to. She gave me a copy of Tipping the Velvet, it's a book, and told me that her feelings for me were more than she should have for a student and of someone my age, and that it terrified her, and she felt like she was losing control of herself and at risk of losing her job. She told me to read the book when I thought of her. Inside, she put a sticker of the deaf hand symbol for I love you, and written always underneath. She told me she was sorry, but while I was her student, nothing could happen. I understood, of course, but I felt like waiting for the end of the year would take an eternity, and I fell into a depression. Later that week, I went to her as usual after school and found she was in a rage, and she was clearing out her desk. I asked what was wrong, and she told me that Mr. Fear had wanted her out from the very beginning, and that he had deliberately given her the wrong syllabus to teach us for our exams, so that he had a reason to fire her, which he had done, and she had to leave. She started crying and sat down, and I hugged her for the very first time. I never wanted to let go. I felt like our roles had reversed, and I had to take care of her. I was so in love with her, and I knew she felt the same, but she was so conflicted about my age and with me being her student. Mr. Fear came to the classroom while we were hugging and asked what was going on. He was furious and told me I wasn't allowed anywhere near a woman like that. She just said, "He's right," and then got up and started to leave. But I couldn't bear the thought of her leaving. I hugged her again, so tightly, and she hugged me back, even though Mr. Fear was still there, trying to escort her out. I told her I love you, and she let me go, and the last thing she said to me was, "Don't take any shit from anyone." I think she meant Mr. Fear, but as she walked away, she raised her hand in the "I love you" sign, in sign language. That was the last time I saw her. Since then, I've searched for her online, and I can't find her anywhere. I knew her address, but when I called the number, they said she had to move out. I'm desperate to find her, and I don't know what to do. I'm worried something might have happened to her, or she might have harmed herself. She seemed so hopeless and upset when she left, and I feel so guilty that she lost her job because of me and because of her sexuality. I just want to find her so we can be together now that I'm not her student, but I can't seem to find her anywhere. Please let me know what you think and what you would do. I don't want to imagine a life without her. I love her so much. I keep her book with me by my bed every night and look at her written always. I just want to see her again and to say sorry and to tell her I love her and so that we can be together. What should I do? Thank you very much.
I think I just watched the movie.
I know, me too. That was amazing.
Where are my popcorn?
Yeah, exactly. Wow, what a letter.
Wow.
Girl, I am so sorry you're
Yeah.
going through this. This is rough.
It's rough.
Oof. I felt like I was reading my own life, by the way, because I had a teacher crush, and it was exactly like that. Like, we would meet at lunch, we would meet at breaks, and she was straight.
But she was straight. This was perfect.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, if you know her name, is it possible that you can't
find her
on socials or anything? That's quite,
Or an email. Maybe you can ask the school. Somebody at the
Yeah.
school would have her email address. Probably.
Exactly.
They have to have contact details.
But they don't release this personal information like an email address. They wouldn't.
Fuck.
It's the only way is through socials. If you can find her through socials.
Sometimes you can Google, like, if you Google your school name and the teacher's name, because for the parents, they would have to have some contact information too, maybe. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It sucks that she won't contact you.
Yeah.
Which is what should have happened.
Yeah, but I understand also why she doesn't contact her. Or didn't contact her, because it's kind of like,
She's 18.
maybe we can put a title like, is this in Sweden, like
I mean, how would they find it?
lesbian Sweden teacher come out of the woods? Somebody who desperately loves you wants to contact you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
but really we can't help but thank you for sharing your story. It was really entertaining, very deep, very sad. Yeah, it's a sad ending, but I mean, for now, God knows. When did she send us?
In July.
In July. Well, let us know if there is any update. If you can could find her, that would be crazy. That would be the second part of this movie.
You know what I would do, but I'm crazy. I would like post videos on my socials. If your socials are public and people can find you by your name, I would post videos declaring my love on my social medias. Like,
Wait, but
so
she has
would
to put
find it.
be on socials with her name so that she can be.
Yeah, if she has her
Yeah.
social media with her name.
Yeah, that's a
Like-
good idea actually.
Like talking to her, making videos just for her, but like everybody would be able to see it, so that's why I'm saying it's crazy.
Yeah,
but-
but I mean, being of course respectful, because you never know. Maybe she's with somebody, and you know, it might be like. But just to get closure, right? Absolutely, like you can do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, if she's not ready for this kind of a thing, and she, you know, she's just ignoring her feelings, which she clearly has towards you, there's not much you can do about that. I mean, we have so little control over what other people do.
But you don't know how things went, and you don't know if she still has feelings for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully you give us a great update, you know, telling us that you guys met somehow, and let's see how this movie ends.
I hope so. I hope we get an upgrade.
Happy ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for writing. If you'd like to write to us, our email is always in the description.
Yes.
And
I will come up with more.
we do have more, actually.
Yes.
So,
So next time.
bye.